Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today. Welcome to Knocked Prone, a podcast of high crits, small fits, and varying wits. My name is Cade, and I am the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. And I am joined here by the birthday boy to my right.
Caden playing Blink.
Oh, nobody knew. All right, everyone sing happy birthday. Continuing.
Danny, Tess.
I messed you guys up. You didn't even think it was going to happen. No, nobody knew.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Mason playing Litsea.
All right, awesome. Well, we have a birthday in the house. Also, not only a birthday, guess who got married this week?
Also, Blink.
Yes, but not Blink.
Blink
Congratulations,
Yes, Caden has a birthday and got married this last week, and so we're celebrating him today. And with that, oh my goodness, Blink, you reach into your pocket. I hope you have a pocket. Yeah, you reach into your pocket and you pull out this little flask. And this little like flask that you didn't have there before, you can drink right away if you'd like.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah,
Random flask.
Yeah,
all right,
I'll
cool.
drink anything.
Let's take drugs. That is liquid luck. The entire rest of the night tonight, you will have this liquid luck effect on you. So, happy birthday, happy wedding day.
You can tell them what it does.
No, I am not.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna kill your character is what it's gonna do. But you took it, so it's too late. As last we left our adventurers, Lakir went and got a shield from his dad, from his house. That was a relic that wasn't given to him because his dad thought he was a disappointment, but he got it anyway. So, play the angsty music.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we joined the group again, who is planning on getting a healbot. But as they were leaving to go get their healbot, they noticed that the Rangers' headquarters was on fire. And out of the Rangers' headquarters came Blink's old friend Elwyn Graynor, who was carrying a large hyena-looking man out of the flames. And that's where we left our adventurers. So let's get started. What would you guys like to do?
So we were on our way to the cleric's hut. Who was leading? Whose idea was it?
I think I was going to disguise myself as a healbot and go and like grab another healbot and pretend like, because like who's going to be suspicious of a healbot grabbing a healbot, And I think I was on my way to do that with at least
I think
a couple of you.
Because I was going. I think you were going because you knew about them.
Yeah,
I think all of us were going, right?
Yeah, I think we're all there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Seeing this, I was just going to say, Blink, isn't that the Rangers' headquarters? Weren't we supposed to go there last night?
Yes. And looking at it in flames, I would say that takes precedence over our initial idea to get the healbot. So I would say I'm just gonna immediately start heading there in hopes to try to save, if there's anyone in there, try to save them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna like walk over to the people, or like half sprint over to the people who are that just came out. The hyena man, who I wouldn't recognize, right?
No.
Totally nobody.
He looks on death's door. Like, he looks super almost dead.
Is there anybody else in there?
Yeah, so Elwyn is like has her arm around this hyena man, and he's limping out, and Elwyn looks at you and she's like,
Blink, I have not seen you for so long.
Elwyn looks at you, Tess, as you approach her, and very out of breath says, "They're gone. All of them, they're gone, but at what cost?" And she just like limps over with this bleeding hyena man.
Which one of them seems more injured?
Oh, definitely this hyena man. Elwyn looks just like tired, maybe from lots of battling, but doesn't look damaged. This hyena man looks, you kind of, roll me a perception check, actually.
10.
Okay, yeah. So, it's pretty easy to see that, the blood on Elwyn's sword seems to be dripping, and she seems to have been the one to deal the damage to this hyena man, but for whatever reason is dragging him out of the flames.
Well, noticing that, I'm going to wait on my cure wounds till we figure out a little bit more, and I'm just going to go peek inside.
I'll say
sure
to her
everybody's-
as he's like going in. She's like, "What is that beast?"
This is a knoll. They're not common around here, but they're a new species down below.
How are they here?
Well, it's a long story. Let me catch my breath for a minute. And she like heaves over and like drops the knoll on the floor and just like breathes very heavily.
I'll say, and the building is actively on fire at the moment.
Active, like getting worse by the minute.
I'll kind of like look to her and say, "Is there anything else that we need to grab from in there? You seem rather calm."
It's gone. It's all gone.
What? Just the headquarters?
The food, the chickens, the rangers.
As soon as I hear chickens, I like double check for any live chickens right now. 12.
With a 12, you peek inside. As you open up this door, it stops about halfway, just enough that you can barely like peek your head and a little bit of your shoulder into this room. The door stops on a pile of bodies, ranger bodies. There are few knoll bodies scattered around this headquarters. There is not a chicken in sight. And all of the rangers' food supply, which they are the main food getters, gone.
How are they here? How is all of this happening? Why did everything happen?
She looks at you and she nods. Well, the rangers had a plan tonight. I don't know all the details. I was in charge of taking the young ones, the new recruits from the coronation that you guys were a part of, on their first hunt, but I had to do it in secret. The rangers had a plan to kidnap Blink in the night, and because they thought it was unfair that Blink wasn't a ranger that's what they were raising you for. They were raising you to be a ranger because you've been on the outside. You know better than any of us how to survive out there, or so we thought. And so they were going to take you on a little night hike through the hole in the ground that they brought you through, Blink. I don't know if you remember. It was quite the eventful night when we got you. But I was just coming back from that camping trip with the young'uns when I saw... it must have been 100 gnolls climbing up our makeshift rope ladder. And I've never scaled that rope quicker, as I pulled knoll after knoll off of this rope and tried to get up to save them. But as soon as I got to the top of the ladder, I killed one gnoll, maybe 3, and their leader, he let out this horrible cackle, and called for all of the men to retreat. And, well, they came as fast as they went, and as I looked around the room, I noticed they had slaughtered all of our chickens and stolen all of our food, and, well, they set the place on fire, and I was in the heat of battle with this gnoll here, and before I carried him out for information.
That's a lot to absorb. You have an illegal entrance to the outside world in there?
Well, it wasn't my plan to have it.
But you knew about it.
I did. All the rangers knew. The Crimson Guard. They're the ones who kept us in the walls out each night when we should have been out hunting. I never knew that we'd ever run out of food. I thought we had. I don't even think that we should have gone on this trek, and now the young'uns. They're still out there. By the time that I had gone up of this rope ladder, the gnolls had set fire to the rope and to the rest of the headquarters, so I had to get out of there as soon as I could.
Are they hidden, or did you leave them for food for the gnolls?
It all happened so fast. I hope they hid. Oh no. And she just gives this 1,000-yard stare. Tears start welling up in her eyes as she thinks that the shock hadn't let her down to the point that she had thought that maybe she had led all of those new rangers to their death. Or at least to be kidnapped.
What are the chances they're still alive?
Well, gnolls are interesting folk. Ever since they became kind of a species, they've been less animalistic, and they usually like to prepare their food before they eat. So I'd assume that they wouldn't just eat the children on sight.
Well, Oleander did say we should try to help all the auras. Seems like they need a little help right now.
I'm gonna pull everyone aside, do a little soccer meetup thing here.
Take a knee.
Yeah, take a knee off to the side. We could approach Oleander with this predicament, and he may assign us to go help. However, there is a chance that he won't want us to help. I know we've all expressed an interest in leaving Great Grumbopolis, and this might be a good reason to go. The question is whether or not we want to ask for permission or forgiveness.
Well, it sounds like the ladder burned down, so our primary way out would be through the Crimson Guards, so maybe permission is the way to go, and if not...
I'm sure the bards have plenty of rope to spare, and we could use that to go down if we didn't want to ask for permission, but a fire this big and a death of an entire aura I do not think will get by unnoticed. I do think Oleander will be made aware of this whether we choose to tell him or not.
Of course.
The question is...
And we also always have the fountain blink found as another option if negotiations go south.
Of course. Personally, I think it's up to Blink to decide whether or not we help these folk. We've decided to stay for your father. I think it's only fair that we allow him his choice. Personally, I think that the Rangers have gotten their comeuppance, and that perhaps this will encourage the other auras to stop walking outside the lines.
I couldn't let those young rangers remain in harm's way. As of right now, that is my first priority, to go get them and make sure that they're safe. Did you say that the rope ladder was still there, or is that...
It's burned.
It's burned, so that's kind of why we were talking about getting that. Okay. So I think that's where we start, is asking them and seeing if they're willing to help lend us some rope.
For the fourth year in a row, Dawn is partnering with iHeartRadio for Can't Cancel Pride, a campaign that has raised over $11 million for the LGBTQ plus community. Dawn continuously strives to celebrate visibility and inclusivity for all, and that means supporting amazing organizations like Centerlink, providing safe spaces where over 52,000 community members go each week to receive critical and life-saving services. Dawn is there for your home, or your home away from home. So visit can'tcancelpride.com to learn more.
So the things that we would like to do before we leave, do we still want to get a healbot? Obviously, we're going to have to get rope to find a way to leave. And if the opportunity so arises, I wouldn't mind trying to let my father free if possible.
This has just struck me. This is a crisis for the city, is it not? Perhaps we could strike a bargain with Oleander. Your father's freedom, or perhaps banishment, in exchange for the safety of these children.
I think that sounds like a very fair idea, actually. I like that a lot.
We could also try to make the case that his assistance is, like, essential on our journey, maybe? To convince Oleander to let her father come with us?
I would like that very much. I think that's very possible.
If we are going to try to bargain our way to Litsea's father, we are going to need to bring this up to Oleander. So should that be our first cause of action? If the hole is inside and the place is on fire, we're going to need to wait for it to calm down anyway.
Yeah. Alright, here's the idea. Lakir, Blink, you guys get rope. Me and Litsea will go talk to Oleander. Prepare a case for why he's necessary for the mission.
All right.
Absolutely. I can do
As
that.
well, I know this doesn't help prove your father's innocence, but I think Tarkin may be willing to speak on our behalf. He was the one who stole the Cleric's blueprints. Perhaps we could, the Artificer's blueprints. Perhaps we could get him to admit that to Oleander and maybe prove your father's innocence. At least prove that there's something sinister going on with the auras.
It makes me a little bit nervous bringing all of this up, not knowing exactly what role he plays in this, what he's aware of. But I think if we step gingerly and do the best we can to be smart, it'll be okay.
All right. Well, I do like Tess's plan. If you and I want to go to the Bard's College and get some supplies, as well as before we go, I do think it would still be prudent to stop by Hive Mother Holly's Cleric hut just to see if we can get some extra assistance. If you would like to go and talk to Oleander, see if we can get some assistance in putting this fire out, and then maybe see if we can get a legitimate way out of here through the Crimson Guard entrance. I think that would be preferable to having to sneak out.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Well, as you guys have been hashing this plan out, Elwyn heard Lakir, you mentioned something about something like strange going on with the auras, and she like stops panting for a second and looks over at you after you guys finish talking, and she says, another thing. While I was trying to pile through the bodies of my brothers that were aptly stacked up in front of the door to get out, as Tess, you saw, I tried to open the door, and I realized, though it had been, that there were claw marks all up and down the door, and there's just a pile of bodies right in front of the door, and I tried to open it myself while holding this knoll, and for whatever reason, somebody had magically locked the door from the outside. Nobody was getting out of there. I think this was a plan. I don't know who, but if you have any suspicion that one of the auras is causing a ruckus, well, I'll just leave you with that information, and I'm sorry. I wish you the best of luck. I hope that I'm not the only
Don't
ranger.
be sorry for us. We're not the ones who just killed our entire families. That's got to weigh a little heavily on you. I hope that you get the rest you need and can make a full recovery.
Thank you. Seeing that my house is on fire.
You're welcome to stay in the church. Big boy's good company.
It's also on fire, so it may be reminiscent.
She cries immediately. Like
here!
the tears in her eyes spill over, and she just starts to weep. And
just
she,
kind of-
she like,
As soon as I see that, I'll like actually kind of like, you'll see like a oh no type of face go across the Kira, and I'm just like,
As hard as I can against your tall elf body, like my little gnome self, like shoves you as hard as I can.
maybe it's best that we leave now, Blink, and I'll start walking towards the Bard's College.
you see Elwyn just walk away like quietly, and as she passes you, Blink, she like pats you on the shoulder, because they were your family too, so, and continues to the church. But with that, she leaves you.
Before she leaves, I'm kind of just consoling her, and making sure she's okay before saying goodbye and heading off with Lakir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she like, as she notices you kind of like consoling her, she wipes the tears away from her eyes, and she doesn't want to look weak in front of you, and so she like gestures both of her fists downward as she like and straightens up her back and lifts her chin, and she says, "I'll be fine for tonight. Just don't let those kids die out there. I'm trusting in you. I know that you can do this, Blink."
You can count on me. I'll get those kids back.
All right.
Alrighty.
What would you guys like to do? So, Elwyn leaves the four of you and goes to the church. And you said were you guys going to Oleander, Lakir, and I'm sorry.
Tess,
Yeah.
Yeah, Tess and I are going to Oleander.
Oh, Tess and you are going to Oleander.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go to the Bards first, because I like shopping.
Yay!
And yay!
While me and Lakir are walking, I'm going to suggest, since we're a little short on time, it might be a good idea for me to go handle the healbot issue if you want to handle the bards. It should be generally an easy task, I would assume, unless you think you would need me there with you, then I'll go.
I think I should be able to handle the bards. I was wanting, and I'll pull out like the large amount of flasks that I got from the wizards. I was wanting to actually steal some of the healing honey that she has. I don't know if necessarily steal is the right word. I'd happily buy it, but I don't think that she is in the greatest opinion of us at the moment.
we could borrow it with the intention of not returning it, if that's what you're suggesting.
I think that would be a wonderful idea.
All right, and I'll just take them and put them in my my European man bag that I have.
Your satchel.
Where you
The
found
fanny
it.
pack.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll go with the Bards first still. So, Lakir, you head over to the Bards Inn and Tavern.
Yeah.
As you enter, you see just like a few of the people who are still nursing their nightly hangovers at the bar have seemed to fallen asleep there.
I will. Hello there, all of you lovely people. I'm looking for someone who is able to sell me some rope, if you would, as well as someone who is open to some questionable methods of reforgement.
Everyone at the bar looks over at you, is like, "Hey, can you keep it down? We're trying. Hey, can you?" And then one of
Isn't
the.
it really early in the morning?
It is 5 a.m.
Okay, just remembering that.
The Bards stay open all night because they are an inn and tavern. The inn is usually meant for like occasions, but the occasional drunk goes to get wasted every night. The building's purple stone, and it's oozing with this mystic sparks from its ceiling. And inside, there's just the patrons that I described to you, and there's lots of successful shops that have come from the Bards Inn that you know of because they train, and then they're like, "Hey, I'm pretty good at this. I might as well start my own store." But one of the regulars behind the bar, after they're like, it's early, can you like chill? Calls over the tavern owner. Opal is her name.
Okay.
And they're like, Opal, can you get in here and just, this guy needs you. And this half-elven woman with dark pigtails and freckles dusting her rusted reddish-brown complexion walks out, and she has this beaming smile. It's early in the morning, but she looks like she's probably a morning person by the enormous smile with her, and she has quite the buoyant personality as she sees you and says, "Why, hello, young sir. What do you need?"
Yes, so I had a couple of rush orders that I was needing done. One is for... I don't think I asked how much rope was needed to reach the ground. However, approximately how much rope do I think would be needed to reach the ground?
For 500 feet.
500 feet.
500
Okay.
feet.
So I'll say I will need quite a large amount of rope, around 500 feet. If you could make it 600, just so that we are a little better. If that is not available all in one strand, I would happily take some that is knotted up together for a total length of that amount. As well, I want several personal things smithed for me, if that would be able to happen. I have quite a good amount of money if you are able to turn it around fairly quickly.
A few of the bar patrons, even though they are still having their headaches, they raise their head quickly to the sound of, "I have a lot of money." And they're like, "Hey, my friend, come on over here."
I'll ask Opal, I'll say, are any of these gentlemen asking for my attention distinguishable smiths?
Well, none of the people here. Hey, you lot, clear out. Hey, Bard, I didn't tell you to stop playing. And she like throws a gold coin at the Bard, and he's like, "All right, this next one's Wonderwall." So Wonderwall starts playing in the background. And yeah.
Indie musical.
Yeah. So, but she's like, "Okay, I can get you that. I don't know if I'll have it all in one piece. I can get you at least 12 lengths of 50 feet of rope. And that's 600, right?"
I believe so. If you could make it 13, just so that when we tie them all together and do things like that, any amounts lost to that, we will be able to make up for.
Well, I wasn't super great in school, so I'm really glad that you did that for me. I wouldn't have never have thought it. So she goes to the back and gets you 13 50-foot, like, gets a wheelbarrow and, like, carts it to the front again and, like...
That was very rapid. How much would this cost?
Let's say 10 gold pieces a strand. We're running a deal. 5 gold pieces a strand.
You're totally welcome to do whatever you want. The Adventurer's Gear website says it's 1 gold per 50 feet.
She looks at you and she says, 5 gold pieces per strand. And gives a big grin across her face.
Go and say, I don't have quite that amount. I will be honest, the only amount that I have on me currently is 23 gold pieces. However, I am happy to provide this as a down payment.
23. 23 it is. And she, like, gestures her hand towards you, like, holding her hand out.
I'll kind of just go and take the money and just toss it towards her.
Totally got swindled, Mason.
I don't care. My character is not concerned with money.
So you reach in and you get the gold pieces and you hand them to her. She hands you 13 13 rope, and she's like, "I like you. Hey, let's get the kid a drink on the house."
I actually have some things to be going to today. I'll happily take that to go. Actually, I still need to discuss some business with the smith, so perhaps I could just have that while I'm discussing some things with them. Would you be able to point me in a direction that I would be able to find one?
Right. Hey, Morty, we got you a customer here. And the cook in the kitchen pops his head out, and he's got a chef's hat on, and he's like, I could smith that for you.
You're the smith.
And the cook. And you said you wanted something to go? And he, like, scoops something out of a jar, puts a sippy cup lid on it, and hands it to you. And he's like, one special drink for the early bird child.
Thanks. Yes, so I had some requests. I'll kind of go and pull out. So I have the schematics for the glove that I am wanting. So it's like, I have material for this. So that with that already being acquisitioned, how long and how much money do you think it would take for you to forge whatever material I provide you into this? And I'll show him. It's essentially I have the picture at home. I should have brought it, but it's essentially like the way waffles work, and they have the holes in between. It like goes like that up until the wrist, and then it continues up until where the fingers meet the palm, right here, and then so it's kind of like just like a lattice work bracer that continues a little bit underneath the hand.
As you describe this to Morty, he's like, well, if it's waffles that you're wanting, I'm great at making waffles. And
Yes, very similar. So perhaps this would be an area of expertise for you.
Yes, right. Well, depending on how much gold you can give me, I could have it done in a certain amount of time.
Well, I have several other things that I am requesting. Probably things that are already readily available. So perhaps we can just bundle them up into one deal.
Yeah, give me the list.
I'm also looking for and I'll give him the schematics for my stove that I'm getting. And then I also need an alchemical set, a set of smithing tools, a set of jeweler supplies, and a set of tinkering tools, if you would not mind. I have quite a few projects that I am undergoing.
All right. Well, how much money we're talking here? I accept all forms of...
I have a few things that I could offer. There is a large gem that is encrusted into the middle of the item that I am needing reforged. If you'd like that as your payment, I do not know its price, however, so let that be known. Otherwise, I have other various small gems available. I'd be willing to part with up to 500 of it. 500 gold, of course.
500 gold of... Oh, that's more money than I was seeing. Yeah, I can get it done for you tonight.
Wonderful. I will bring you by the supplies shortly.
All right.
Here, take this, and I'll take off one of the rings, and I'll say, just as a down payment until I return with everything else.
He greedily takes it from you and, like, heads back into the kitchen, and you can hear his voice fade away. Hooray! Opal, we're eating good tonight!
I also apologize. I would have asked him on that list for 2 pieces of, like, marble and some, like, gold, like, thin gold sheets resembling plates. And
Perfect, yeah.
That would be it, and I will go and take the rope and start wheeling it back to the Rangers thing.
All right.
And then if nobody's there by the time I get there, I will go grab the shield and the gems and half of the gems and take them back to Mr.
Sure.
Barboy.
You're totally able to do that in the time. Like, nobody's there when you get there. Everyone's dead at this point, so everyone roll up new characters. No, but let's go over to Tess and Litsea. You approach Oleander's castle. It's about 5:30 at this point, maybe 6. You make it to Oleander's castle. You know exactly where Oleander is. If you'd like to go to his office is also where he sleeps.
So,
All work, no play.
hearing that the door might have been sealed, I'm a little bit more skeptical asking Oleander, so let's stay ready to bounce. And I'm going to put resistance on her, on Litsea while I'm saying that.
You feel bolstered. You feel just so good. You feel tougher than you've ever felt in your entire life. You stub your toe and you don't even cry.
I like purposely kick the door to test it out.
Yeah, yeah. And it works. Yeah, you're totally fine.
Okay, I agree. So just, if we ever feel like we've made a poor decision, we'll just have to give each other the signal and we'll be out of there.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of hurriedly walk in and knock on Oleander's door, assuming nobody stops us before then.
Yeah, you knock on the door.
And then I wait for a couple seconds, take a deep breath, and open it without being called in.
Ah, yes.
Wow.
All right.
Tess.
Well,
Big moment.
big moment. Yeah. So, Oleander seems to have gotten up from his hay bale bed and is trotting over to the door. As you open the door, and he says, "Oh, Tess, my boy. What can I do, yes, sir?"
I push right past Tess and I'm like, have you not heard what's going on out there?
It is early in the morning. You gotta wake up pretty early to get past me, and it is that time.
The Rangers are dead.
And he, his head shoots up, and he says, what? The Rangers are dead?
Not all of them. There's an expedition still stuck out there, and we know you wanted us to help them, so we're going to get the whole group, and we're going to go out and help the expedition. There's only one catch, though. We need a little bit of help. We need to take Litsea's dad.
Roll me a persuasion check.
14. And I'm gonna look at Litsea kind of for more information to be shared of why that may be.
Yeah.
We are absolutely capable of saving the Rangers that are trapped down below. Not only are these just Rangers, but these are children. These are our classmates. And we feel like we are going to be a best shot at saving these children. And, we're still young, although capable. And I think that it would be extremely helpful to have my father with us. And even if you feel the need to banish him from Great Grumbopolis, he'll still be with us out in the great unknown, helping us out to be able to save these children.
Roll me a persuasion check.
23.
Oh, whoa!
8, not 8.
Yeah, so you're able to muster up some emotion in your speech with Tess.
It's completely fake, but I'm
yeah.
letting tears well in my eyes, giving him the biggest puppy dog face that I can.
Yeah, and Oleander is nothing if not a sucker for puppy dog eyes, and he's like, well, your test is not over. I can't say. Okay. Take him, and as long as he is your chaperone, it should be okay.
Okay. Can you make sure all the Crimson Guard know what we're doing and to not get in the way, because this is a very time-sensitive situation. I'm sorry to make you do so much so early, but necessity is there.
I'll send a memo, and then he yells, "Memo!"
And then I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right out the
and
door.
right before I shut the door, to leave out of his office, I'm like, somebody better give you an update on what's going on out there, because I feel like we only told you the half of it, and shut the door. Because he's ignorantly sleeping through through the death of an eighth of his people.
Fire's pretty quiet.
He's supposed to be this omnipotent
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Not to mention, if something goes wrong, you would think that everyone would rush to go tell him,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we caught it semi-early on.
Yeah,
but
it
still,
really kind of seems more like rather than go to Oleander, they're more likely to go to the leadership of their own aura and figure out what the aura wants to do,
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than what Great Grumbopolis wants to do.
Yeah.
And personally, Litsea was honestly frustrated at his ignorance, because
Yeah.
especially being as young as I am, I had always looked up to him as our great and powerful leader. So kind of definitely got a big head about it, honestly.
All right, as we're running out, I cast Good Berry, stashing all the good berries in, And before we like really get going, I want to like yell up to Talkin and see if he pops his head out.
Yeah, pops his head out. Pops his head out over the edge, kind of like wobbles a bit, and like gets his footing again over the edge of the mushroom bell tower.
And I'm gonna throw him a good berry and say,
Roll me,
like 40
roll
feet
me an athletics check, sir.
I cast jump on it. 11.
So your Goodberry doesn't even make it halfway.
Smashes like
Just-
a grape against this like.
But Talkin's like, righto, and like starts climbing down, licks up the Goodberry as he's on his way down from the
Yay.
mushroom, and
We might be leaving, but thank you for your help.
well, thank you for believing in me. I haven't had much.
Can you take care of Big Boy? He's the black sheep in the church.
Oh, I've been wanting dinner for some time.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave.
He laughs as he hears the concern in your voice. Just starts bellowing out, laughing.
All right, that is comforting. I really was worried he would eat him.
Yeah. So he promises he'll take care of him. But you guys leave. We're gonna go over to Kato for a second here. Blink. Yes. So you make it to the outside of the Cleric's hive. There are 2 guards stationed outside of the front doors.
Okay. And where would I be? Kind of what cover would I have from where I'm at?
You could go like on the backside of the hive to a point like behind where they could see if you wanted.
Okay.
And are you listening in on what they're saying? Are you kind of just like trying to because they're quietly mumbling?
Okay. Do I see from where I'm at? I see those 2 guards. Do I see any windows into the hive?
No.
I do not. Okay. So yeah, I guess first of all, I'll try to get as close to them as I can. Maybe like hiding on the other side of the hive, or like if there's any bushes or anything around, I'll try to hide and listen into what they're saying first before I decide how to go about getting in.
Yeah, so there's some bushes that you could totally like jump into and listen in. And as you're listening into their conversation, they both look just so sleepy. They're 2 crimson guards guarding the healer's hive, so it's not even their aura, but they're in charge of that. They're one of the guards like leans over to the other. I'm concerned about that break in the hole in the wall, the west wing of the hive where the bees stopped producing that honey. Shouldn't I go stand guard over there? Like, don't you think that somebody could break in? And his like buddy like elbows him awake, and he looks to be the senior of the 2, and he's like, "You're just being paranoid. You and I both know that the facility is chock full of alarms. Even if a fly makes a crooked wing beat in there, we'll know. Besides, they took that honeycomb in for inspection earlier today. I'm sure they'll get it fixed in the morning."
Okay. Well, that is great to know. So I'm going to go around the back to where that piece of honeycomb is missing.
Roll me a stealth check
Okay.
with advantage.
20 on my first
Are you
one.
kidding me? That's the second one. Those
the
are his
second
birthday
one.
dice?
Yeah.
He doesn't need that liquid luck.
Yeah, I
Cade.
guess not. Roll another one. See if you get another 20.
I do really like the D20.
It's pretty cool, right?
A 1 on the second one.
It giveth and it taketh
Yes.
away. Well, so as with your natural 20, you see, you sneak around. You're so stealthy. There seems to be like there was some construction tape, but for whatever reason, you're just so lucky that this construction tape that was blocking off the wall has fallen apart, and it looks to be rather empty inside of the healer's hive. But with that, that is where we're going to stop today's session. My name is Cade, and I am the host and GM of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the birthday boy.
Caden playing Blink.
Danny playing Tess.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Mason playing Look Here.
Happy birthday on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday!
Bam, 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 bam.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.